Mayor, right?
Yeah, it is.
Hi, everybody. Jean Humbrecht with Humbrecht Law, criminal and traffic defense attorney in Manassas, Virginia. Welcome to my semi-weekly local business spotlight. Today, I am joined by Tavan Mayer from Connected Communities, Inc. I met Tavan during my travels in Winchester, networking out that way. But I was very impressed with and interested in the organization that Tavan runs. And after meeting with him, I asked him to come on this local business spotlight to just kind of inform everybody of the opportunity that is out there with his organization. So Connected Communities, it's a nonprofit mental health organization that meets individuals where they are. They strive to create and support meaningful relationships for children, adolescents, and their families based on their own goals and values. They help guide them through everyday life situations that include traumatic experiences, relationship difficulties, and lack of a support system. Now that sounds like a very that sounds like a lot of work and very broad. So Tavan, at this point, I'm going to turn it over to you to tell everybody a little bit more about Connected Communities while I share the video in my different Facebook groups.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, Gene. Yeah, so Connect Communities is located in Winchester. We service Loudoun County, Shenandoah County, Frederick County, and Loudoun County, Frederick County. Oh, and Warren County. So our services, the services we provide are like outpatient services in the school systems. We provide trauma services. We also do a little bit of assessments for human and sex trafficking. So we also work in that realm. Mentoring services, parent mentoring. We do a wide range of mental health services for the community.
So how do the children come to your organization, or how do you find out about the people that need your services? We'll start with children.
Most of our children and families are referred to us through the court system. They're referred to us through DSS and social services. Um, some school systems, and some self-pay. So we have a wide range of services, and for outpatient services, insurance pays for.
Okay, for outpatient insurance pays for it.
Yes, so they're more self-referred.
Got it. So actually, I know the difference between outpatient and inpatient, but can you tell our viewers that are watching what the difference is between inpatient services and outpatient services?
So our outpatient services, the families or individuals come to our office, and it's a one-on-one therapy session. We do everything from trauma, play therapy, victim services to anyone that's been abused sexually or physically, domestic violence services we provide now. So outpatient services is more of like a one-on-one service, or sometimes we do it on Zoom, like we're doing now.
Okay. So I was not aware that insurance covered mental health treatment. Is this something specific with your organization?
No, they cover outpatient services for the most part. So any diagnosis that is covered by the DSM, um, what you call it, insurance will cover. So that's Medicaid, any of your basic insurances they'll cover.
Got it. Okay. So it's if people have a diagnosed mental health um, issue, the insurance will cover it. But kind of standard counseling that's not a diagnosed condition is not covered. Is that correct?
So sort of. I mean, if it's out of the DSM and you don't have insurance, then yes, people do self pay. So they'll come in and pay themselves. But most people that come to our agency, they have a diagnosis that is assessed and is paid for through insurance.
Got it. Okay. So you said that DSS and the courts refer children to you. Is is that in situations where DSS is called for an investigation of neglect or abuse or something like that?
Some that is a very common one that we get a lot of. A lot of it's preventative also. So if the kid is like truancy, if the kid is put on notice, then DSS will reach out to us to try to work with this kid on whatever the barrier is. Sometimes it could be lack of support at home. It could be homelessness. It could be several different factors that we come in and we assist with.
Okay. And do you have some some people that benefit from your services that are inpatient out and outpatient, or is it only outpatient?
Outpatient for the most part, we do work with the residential facility. So if a kid's coming out of inpatient, we will transition them home with our services, like our residential deviation program.
Okay, so what does it look like, the process of transitioning from the inpatient to home?
So normally we'll get a referral, like for kids to get out of these, whether it's a juvenile detention center or it's if it's anything to do with mental health. If a kid gets out of facility, they'll have a discharge plan. So they'll
Hmm.
add us to the discharge plan. So in that plan, we will work the goals back into the home. So if it's maybe it's supervision for safety, maybe it's supervision because the kid has anger outbursts or some type of sexual issue, we will help transition them into the home while we're at the home working with the family to best fit the kid's needs.
Okay. Okay, so you take the transition plan that was developed when they were an inpatient.
Right.
Okay.
We execute that. Right.
And so when courts refer juveniles to you, in what would that situation look like? And what type of situation would the court refer somebody to you? Is that part of like a part of a sentence, part of probation, part of like kind of deferring to try to prevent them from getting a criminal conviction? In what situation would that happen?
A little bit of all those. So we have kids that are going to the juvenile detention center. So we even go into the juvenile detention center and work with them there too and provide mentoring services. So we're very flexible in our services. So most of the time we get kids that are like have charges. So they're in the system and we're just trying to be that positive role model, positive staple in the community to help them to deviate from more charges or show up for court or not miss school and comply with their probation plan. We assist with that.
Okay, so you're not officially affiliated with the court system, right? Like you're not part of pre-court or anything like that, pre-trial services.
No, we're contracted out through from them. So we have an agreement with them, but we're not like a part of the court system.
Oh, okay, okay. So which courts refer to you? How many is?
Winchester. I don't remember all the CSUs. There's so many. So
Oh,
Winchester, Prince William, Loudoun, um, sometimes in Fairfax. It just depends on where the kid lives at, or if the kid's like, because we deal with foster care also. So if a kid's getting adopted out to this area, then we'll have a relationship with them through that. So it varies.
okay. So what is the most common situation for a child that utilizes your services?
I would
What
say
I mean, is it court referral? Is it foster care? Is it self admit? What's the most common situation?
that's tough. That's tough. I would think hmm, we since our services are split from our outpatient to our
Hmm.
community-based services, I would say we get most of our referrals from probably the juvenile justice system,
Okay.
and in CSA, well, DSS. They probably run neck and neck. But for our outpatient services, we probably get a majority of our referrals from the school.
Okay. So how exactly does that work when a school refers you a child? Do they have to run? Do they have to get permission from the parents? Because I would imagine that some situations they wouldn't want to let the parents know. I mean, I don't know. How does that work?
Oh, we have to have permission from the parents to even
Okay.
to even start. So normally, the school makes a recommendation referral to us. So if they identify a kid that could benefit, they
Hmm.
reach out to the parents. They have all the releases signed.
Uh-huh.
They work it out on their end, and then by the time the referral comes to us, we have the documentation of the needs, the parents' approval, and we incorporate the parents also. So we try to find times that they're not at work or they're available to coordinate that as working on service goals and the kids' progress or barriers and things like that.
Hmm. Okay. Are there ever cases referred to connected communities that involve children who have allegedly suffered abuse from the parents?
Yes, several cases. Usually, when a kid is safety planned out from DSS, we come in to help with that trauma. So we provide the outpatient and the mentoring services just to give them that positive reinforcement, and also to take the kid's mind off of that traumatic experience. So That's where we come to play in a lot of cases.
Okay, so in cases like that, you work with the juvenile and the parents together or separately or both?
Separately. So we'll
Okay,
usually normally split services. So the parent would end up getting like anger management courses
okay,
or parenting skills. So we'll have one person work with them, one person with the kid, and if it's deemed by the courts or DSS that it's okay for them to reunite, then we
mhm.
help craft that too.
Okay. Do you ever deal with? I believe the term is reunification therapy or reunification. Like when,
Yes.
like if there's a, for example, a protective order that prohibits a parent from seeing a child, and then and then there, I've heard of it before where the parent and the child would meet at the specific location with a counselor or whatever term you want to use. I'm probably using the wrong term, and then supervised by somebody, and that has to be documented for court purposes, that kind of a thing.
Yes, we actually do a lot of those.
Okay.
So we are the people that provide the supervised visitation for a lot of court systems. So, and it's in a community. Sometimes at our locations, sometimes it's wherever everyone deems safe. And we
Mhm.
do have documentation we fill out to say how the parents are interacting, how the kid responds, and things like that. So yeah, we do work with families with that.
Okay. So, what would be a situation where a parent might be concerned and it would be appropriate for them to maybe contact connected communities for the services? Like, let's say it's not a DSS referral or school referral. Is there any, behavior in the home that a parent would be concerned about that they would, contact you to handle?
I would think if you have any concerns for your kid and you might not think that there's a service or appropriate service, what we do well is we're very connected in the community, hence the name.
Mhm.
Um, we will always take the referral and we would even resource out. So we since we're so connected with so many different things, like if you recognize behaviors in your kids, maybe it's like I don't know. I'll give an example of like a bullying or just concerns over your kids pulling away. So we can assess those situations and then from our expertise determine what would be a good service for a family or a kid just by a phone call, email. I mean, we have our webpage. We're on Facebook. You can Google us, Connected Communities. It'll pop up. So our intake coordinator will take it and divvy out resources or pass it along to the appropriate people.
Okay. Okay. Now, how did you end up starting Connected Communities?
But I don't have enough time for that, but I'm just
The Reader's Digest version.
the quick version is that I mean, like for myself, I was in foster care. I was a kid that lost both parents early. Um, I was in pretty much all the systems you can think of. I had a touch in as a kid, and I could have benefited from someone
Mhm.
that just showed interest or spent a little time to help me get out of situations that I was in. Not, I don't think that I mean, per my behaviors, I probably was deemed a bad kid, but really, I just wanted somebody to talk to. Really wanted some help and different support. So I created this place to be that bridge for families and kids that were like me.
Okay.
The
And
shortest
how
version I can give.
well, maybe another time we can go into a much longer version. But so how long have you, because I know when we met before, you talked about what you've done before Connected Communities. How long have you had, when did Connected Communities start?
It started in 2017 is when like we opened our doors. And then COVID hit, so it kind of gave us like it was a weird spot, but we were able to open up a program for the community where kids that were on the spectrum could still get support. I mean, because like COVID doesn't stop a kid with autism or a kid with those behavior challenges. So we were able to work with families and other residential facilities to have them come to our facility with our staff.
Okay. If somebody wanted to help support your organization in any way, what would you be looking for? What support do you need from any of us out here?
um, Spread the word. I mean, just to get our name out. We're a nonprofit, so like funding's always an issue. So any places that we can get in front of people to speak about what we do and how we do it, it's always been good for us because like just like how we made the connection, it's always good to for us
Mhm.
to know what the resources are in the community so we can connect our families and our clients to that. And for my own staff, we have about 40 some staff now, and like we all need help with something. So the more people that we can connect with and meet, we could benefit from just the connections and word of mouth.
Okay. And I believe you told me before that you don't really take volunteers at the facility. Is that correct?
Right, it's tough. We do have events that we can put out for volunteers.
Okay.
Like we have our book bag drive coming up this Friday, but we do events throughout the year, and I'm happy to share those with you, and you can share them out. But we
Okay.
can take volunteers then. But as far as our work's concerned,
Hmm.
it's tough because of the nature of what we do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Okay, so there are events that people could volunteer at, and of course, obviously, the financial support would always be helpful, but getting the word out. Okay. Now we focused a lot on juveniles. Do you work with adults at all, like that aren't related to the children with issues?
Most of our adults are parent mentoring, so we assist with parents that maybe lack some skills in certain areas. Maybe
Okay.
they have their own mental health challenges, so we work with them with those, and our outpatient services are our main adult services that we provide.
Well, so what are the outpatient services for adults? Counseling. I mean, what exactly is it? Court referrals, same kind of thing.
Most of our the adults are they're self-referred, so that can be family therapy, it can be relational. We're getting into substance abuse. We're not really there yet, but we're getting to substance abuse is the next thing we're going to take on. But most of it's like depression, anxiety, those types of mental health concerns.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Um, is there anything else that you, well, you do a lot. Is there anything else that you do that we didn't specifically talk about or that I didn't specifically ask about that you want to let people know about? Because you said it's about getting out the word. I want to make sure you tell us everything that you want to, if I, even if I may not have asked specifically about it.
I mean, I would say our main programs, our main focus that have been like the biggest need that we've seen. Our most creative programs has been our school programs that we provide for outpatient services, and our residential deviation program. Um, we also do those psychosexuals for children that have been abused, and that's used by the court systems. And I mean, we've had a lot of different people refer for those, but it is a self-pay thing. It's very expensive, but that service has been such a need in Virginia, and the court services have asked a lot of, and that's just us putting in things in place for the perpetrators to keep everyone else safe and to like help the kids that have been victims of sexual abuse be around their peers. So those are the three huge creative programs that we created on our own.
Okay. So there are some children who that your organization provides services for that are not DSS or court referred, but specifically children that were victims of sexual abuse, and you help. Well, can you just explain a little bit more about exactly what that is? Because I know about the psychosexual evaluations. So if a child has been a victim of abuse, what is it that your organization does to help them?
So what we do is assess the risk levels. So if a kid perpetrates on another kid or has been perpetrated against, we assess risk, and it's like I mean it's a 4 or 5 hour process. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 days, and there's a psychological testing. There's a social history component to it. So it's very intensive, and what we do is just help the kids. So a lot of our kids aren't in school. So if they abuse another kid, or they really can't get charged for abuse, but if they abuse another kid, there's restrictions put in place that isolate the kid. So we come in to try to come with the resources and safety plans to help the kid be a normal kid per se, and integrate back in the community without those risks of assaulting another kid or something happening to them.
Okay. Okay. So the services are for both the perpetrators and the victims of the assault.
Right.
Okay. So what can you give an example of what that would look like, services for a victim of assault?
So victims usually, especially if it's a kid, we work mostly
Yeah.
with kids.
Yeah.
Um, the people that were there to protect them, sometimes they lack that safety and trust. So what we do is we go in and we work with the whatever trauma that the victim experienced, and we help them work through that before we get to the next phases. So there's like different levels to it. So
Okay.
if if it's a kid's been traumatized, well, maybe some kids are scared to shut the door. So just to go to bed at night, they're scared to shut the door. So we work on whatever the factors is. It's kind of hard to explain because it's such an individualized plan. So
Okay.
everybody's plan is different.
Hmm.
But we do work with whatever mental health challenges and the risk factors. We try to decrease those risk factors.
Okay. Okay, so basically, this circles back to what I said in the very beginning, that it's very broad. You provide a lot of services.
Yeah.
So, so basic anybody that correct me if I'm wrong, any juvenile that has had a DSM diagnosis or a referral from DSS or a referral from court or a referral from school, or parent thinks there's an issue and brings them in, or if they've been a victim of some sort of sexual assault, and I assume probably assault in general, maybe child abuse from their parents, things like that. Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
correct?
I mean, that about sums it. That about sums it.
That's a lot, though. That's a lot.
That about sums it up. I mean, it is when you put it like that. I mean, it is a very. I mean, it's broad. It's just hard to hone into one thing because we do so many things, and the world has so many issues. It's hard to be like,
Mhm.
we just do this, and we were created based on the needs of the community, and we have so many. So that's why it feels that broad and sounds that broad. It's just so many needs.
Yeah, yeah, because one person that needs mental health support, for broadly speaking, is not going to look like the person next to him that needs mental health support. Everybody's issues are different. Yeah, it makes
Right.
sense.
Right.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else before? Oh, do you want to talk about this book bag drive thing that you mentioned, which I didn't know about?
Oh yeah, like I mean, it's been a work in progress. We're gonna be in Middletown, Virginia. Friday. Well, what's today? Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, Friday, from 4 to 7. This is our third year doing it with Middletown. It's one of the areas that are. It's very secluded from everywhere else. There's not a lot of resources, so we chose to do it there. Last year we gave away about 500 book bags, and in the book bags there's usually school supplies, hygiene supplies, and we give out food, free haircuts. We provide like bounty houses and entertainment, and we have other vendors this game. It's growing bigger and bigger. So that's what's all the stuff that's all around me. But yeah, so that's been something that's really good as we get back to the community, and we also partner with other schools. That on Saturday we'll be in Front Royal, Virginia, with another school system, also
Mhm.
giving out book bags and different materials.
Okay, awesome. Can people still help out or donate to this event that's on Friday?
You can people can donate to us at any time. I mean, there's always a need, and we service about I think we're up to 700 families now. So like we service and it's growing. So there's various needs that come in. Sometimes it's food, sometimes it's clothing. I mean, whatever people are willing to donate, that think that could help a child, we're willing to take.
Okay. Okay. Well, good to know. What is the next event coming up, or is there an event coming up planned that people can mark their calendars for?
My team has so many right now. I could even I couldn't even tell
Okay.
you.
Well, that's good.
They have some ideas that haven't been set in stone, and they hate when I put it out there too early because then they feel like pressured. So I'm like,
Oh,
when
yeah.
they give it to me, I'll definitely send it to you.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And you know how I share. Well, we're not Facebook friends, but I try to share my friends and everybody's posts and things that I think everybody should see, because people do see it. People do look at Facebook and social media. So definitely, Tavan, send it to me and I'll share it.
Cool, appreciate that.
Yeah. So, is there anything else? Because I keep saying that and then I interrupt you. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody about Connected Communities before we go?
No, I would just encourage everybody to check out our website, and again, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out. Again, we're not new, but we're fairly new, so we're just really willing to help the community. And we actually had a good conversation this morning with Prince William County, so that might be an area that we might be in pretty soon. Manassas, Prince William, so it's hopefully coming soon. So this is something to look out for. So if you see Connected Communities or a logo, that's us.
Okay, awesome. Well, a lot of people watching this, I think, are located in Prince William County. So yeah, keep me posted, and I could connect you. Well, I don't know who you need to be connected with, but I could connect you with some people. But you
I'm
probably
open.
already know you're connected.
I'm open to meet with anybody. It doesn't matter what it is. It could benefit our families we serve. So if
Okay.
you're people that are listening, if you I mean own restaurants, anything, we're willing to connect our families with people because one day we're out of the picture, and the community is all they are going to have left. So we're open to meeting and talking with anyone.
Okay, awesome. Well, Tavan, I forgot to tell you in the beginning. Once I end the broadcast, you and I will still be here. So don't X out the screen yet. Um, but thank you so much for taking the time to come on my local business spotlight and tell everybody about your organization, because uh, a lot of people don't know, right? So I know because I went to Winchester and met you, but this is something that a lot of people should know about, and I think a lot of the times people don't know about the resources that are available to them. So I think this was really beneficial. So thank you very much, and I will be sharing all the future events that Tavan sends to me. So thank you everybody for watching, and thank you Tavan very much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.